Chapter 11. Saul rescues the town of Jabesh. An Ammonite was a person from the tribe or country of Ammon. The Ammonites had attacked the Israel in the past. Read Judges chapter 3 verse 13, chapter 11 verse 4 to 32. When an army attacked a town, the soldiers often killed all the people in that town. The people who came from Jabesh could not fight and win against the Ammonites. They wanted to give in and let Nahash rule them. But if Nahash pulled out their right eyes, they would not be able to fight very well. In those days, many men fought with bows and arrows. They needed two eyes so that they can aim the arrows straight. The people from Jabesh did not want to have this shame, so they asked the Israelites to help them. Nahash probably thought that this army was strong enough to fight the Israelites. Saul was the king of Israel now, and he still worked in his fields. Saul was angry when he heard about the Ammonite attack on Jabesh. The Spirit of God gave him power to rescue the town and the people. The Spirit of God gives power to people for a special job that God gives them. Without this power, they cannot do the job. Israel did not have an army. Saul required every man of Israel to fight. He wanted them to frighten them. But the people were not afraid of Saul. They were afraid of the Lord. Saul was a strong leader because God gave him the power. These men came from many different towns, but they were a united group. They met at Bezek. Bezek was about 16 kilometers, 10 miles away from Jabesh. In verse 8, 1,000 is a name for a large group of men. The group was maximum of 1,000 men, but there may be fewer men. So there were 300 large groups of men from Israel and 30 groups from Judah. This verse shows that the writer of 1 Samuel wrote it after the days of King Solomon. Israel was one country during the rule of Saul, David and Solomon. When Solomon died, Israel divided into Judah and Israel. 1 Kings chapter 12. The people in Jabesh heard that Saul and his army would rescue them. They were very happy now. In verse 10, "We will come out to you," has two meanings. Nahash thought that the people from Jabesh would give in to him, but the people meant they would go and fight him. The Ammonites were not ready for the attack. The next day, verse 11, meant after sunset. The Israelites' day ended at sunset. Their new day started in the evening. Genesis chapter 1 verse 3. The Israelites defeated the Ammonites. Only a few of Ammonite soldiers escaped. In chapter 10 verse 27, some men did not think that Saul could save Israelites. At Jabesh, Saul proved that he could. This proved that he was a good leader. In verse 13, Saul was not proud. He knew that God had rescued the people. Saul was wise. He did not punish those who opposed his authority. Instead, Samuel had a special meeting. Everyone declared that Saul was a king. This time, no one opposed him. The Israelites were happy with God and happy with Saul. The Bible sometimes calls the peace offering, verse 15, the fellowship or friendship offering. The people gave offerings to the Lord. Then they ate part of the offerings together. You can read about this also in Leviticus 3 and chapter 7, 11 to 21. This was probably the same offering as in 1 Samuel chapters 1 and 9. People declared Saul as king on the three different occasions. This way, Samuel helped the people to accept Saul as their king. First, Samuel anointed him with oil in chapter 10 verse 1. This was a private time with just Saul and Samuel. The second time was a public event. God chose Saul from all the Israelites, chapter 10 verse 17 to 25. But some people opposed Saul. The third time was in chapter 11 verse 14 to 15. This time all the Israelites went to the holy place. Everyone knew that God gave Saul the power to be their king.